Hello and welcome to Every Dad DIY. I'm Gavin. Today I'm going to show you how to put a screen in an iPad mini. So stick with me and let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we've got to assemble some tools. We're going to use plastic pry tools. I've just got a selection of them here. Some of the guitar picks and also some of the longer ones. We're also going to need a tweezers and some very small Phillips screwdrivers. I think they're 00. We're also going to need some way to organize our screws. I'll be using an ice cube tray. We're going to need our replacement screen, obviously. I'm also going to use some sellotape because the screen is smashed. I'm going to try taping it up to keep it together. We're also going to need a hairdryer to melt the glue. We're also going to need some alcohol wipes if we need to clean the screen. So because the screen is smashed, I'm just going to use the sellotape hopefully to hold it together and stop the little pieces from falling all over the place. Before we get too far, I'm just going to talk about how we're going to do this. So we're going to pry all the way around here. This is your camera side. So we're going to start at the camera side and we're going to pry up on all the edges down along here. We're not going to do anything with the home button yet. We will heat the glue, but we won't put anything down here because there's the home button. As far as I know, there's antennas and stuff down there as well. So we're going to concentrate on the camera side and the camera corners, and then we'll work our way down along the sides and we'll heat the glue here then, and it should open up like this. Right, so we're going to heat up all around the edge of the screen. We're going to try soften up the glue so we can start getting our pry tools in there and start lifting it. So I'm going to start with a corner and I'm just going to keep adding in little guitar picks, and I'm just going to keep working my way down along until I get the whole side up. Once I get one side up, then I'm going to heat along the other side and I'm going to start adding guitar picks in that side too. I'm going to work the picks up and down along the edge to separate it the whole way along. I'm going to then try to lift it from the corners. Once I get it lifted, I'm going to use the hairdryer to heat the home button side. I'm just going to keep heating it and gently lifting up on the screen. The glue should melt and I should be able to open it up like a book. Okay, so now that I have it opened up, I'm going to have to go around and clean up all this and try to get all this glass off that's left. Because the screen was shattered, there's going to be bits everywhere, so we'll just have to take a minute and get all of that off. So I'm just going to use a pry tool and the heat gun or the hairdryer and we'll get it all off. So this picture shows the 4 screws that are holding down the LCD. We need to remove those. There's 2 little tiny magnets in the 2 corners. We need to make sure not to remove those, and if we do, we need to put them back. They're used to operate a smart case. So now that the 4 screws are removed, we can use a small bit of pressure all the way around to lift up the LCD. Just be careful not to lift it up in any one place too much. We're then going to lift it up like we did with the outer screen. We're just going to hinge it on the home button side. It's still attached by its cable, so be careful not to pull on it. The LCD won't open up all the way, so we need to leave it upright. We now have access to the 16 screws that holds it down. We need to remove all those. We can then remove the metal panel. This gives us access to another little metal panel which is held on with 3 screws. We need to remove those too. This now exposes the connectors for the LCD. So we're going to lift the connector up with a pry tool, and underneath you'll see another connector. We need to disconnect that one as well. The bottom connector is for the outer screen and that's the one we'll be removing. Now that the connectors are disconnected, we can remove the outer screen. Just be careful to support the LCD while you do this. We can now feed in the connector for the new screen, and then we can reconnect the connectors in the same order that we took them off. We can put back on the little metal plate and insert the 3 screws. We're then going to refit the large metal plate with all its screws. We can now put the LCD back in and secure it with its 4 screws. I've got a couple of finger marks on it, so I'm just going to wipe them off with an alcohol wipe. We now have my least favourite bit, putting the adhesive tape back on. We're going to lay this tape down all the way around the edge. We then peel off the top layer to expose the adhesive. Then we remove the protective layer off the inside of the screen. We're then going to carefully lower it down and try to align it properly. We try to do this in one step so we don't have to lift the screen again. We're then going to push it all the way around to seat it into the adhesive. It's a good idea to put a stack of books on it and leave it overnight. That way it'll stick properly. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our video. The iPad is back together and working. I think the hardest part is trying to get the old screen off, trying to heat around and get your little pry tool in and all that. You have to be kind of delicate. It's even harder when it's all smashed up because you have to take off the little pieces and try not to get them all over the place. It's not too hard of a job to do, it's just something you need to make sure you have the right amount of time allocated, because it does take time to do all the steps. So yeah, if you're going to do it yourself, just make sure you have enough time to do it. And yeah, so other than that, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.